It's all right. I don't hate you. I'm not mad at you. I just want you to, I just want you to be more normal. Okay. That's it.
It's the same if they hire these people or as far as like the immigrants or if they hire American workers.
If they had wage parity,
that's kind of what he was going toward. He started talking about that like kind of after the shitstorm had.
He would never in a million years look for that because then that's profit margins. That's hurting his profits. That's hurting his bottom line. He relies on H-1B visa workers. I don't trust super wealthy people, billionaires, and
we say sorry, Elon.
You sure? I'd be shocked because I'm of the mindset that these guys will say anything and everything as long as you're not focusing on the actual pressure points. As long as you're not focusing on who's fucking you over, who's robbing you blind, they're good. They're like, yeah, we should do price parity. They're never going to do that, but they'll say it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it just.
And it's the Democrats too, by the way. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to fix this shit either.
Government and politicians in general. I just wonder, like, does it ever actually become what you think it could be to be better, right? Because it just seems like we live in this world where it's just constant more, get more, take more, grow, profit margin, shareholders, like, and that controls this whole entire fucking nation and the world.
It seems like you're describing capitalism right now.
Yeah, but I mean, it's in a sense, yeah, but it's like that's not even a sense directly. But
no, that is what it is.
Yeah. That's the world. It's not like that's just going to disappear.
No, I mean, look, I'm a firm believer that is not like inherent in human nature. Brad cracks me up. He bounces between there's no way to fix this and what if this crazy thing that will never happen happens, Lamau? Yeah, sure. You can be greedy, you can be selfish, you can be personally interested. That doesn't automatically mean that we are also not social animals that constantly collaborate. This is a good take. My take is that grifters, be it Fox News, The Daily Wire, politicians, or drama content creators, successfully weaponize people's pain and misery, redirecting those frustrations in the form of targeted cynicism, harassment, etc., at the expense of individuals based on identity analysis instead of systems on the basis of material analysis. You cooked, RavXO. You're right. That's precisely what happens every single time. That constantly work with one another and do it in like very invisible ways. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to always be pure profit driven. And then well, what I mean by that is, like, there are additional motivators beyond making money that you engage in. You don't work out every single day because you want to make more money. The more muscle mass you put on, the more money you make. That's not a direct, that's not a direct reason, right? You do it for yourself. You do it for self-improvement. It's something you care about. Same with me, right? Sure, the way we look definitely play into the way the audience receives us. And, maybe it allows more people to listen to what you have to say or whatever. Right. But ultimately, there's a secondary reason for that, perhaps even a more important reason for that. And we do stuff like that all the time. There are additional motivators beyond profit that cause people to innovate, right? That cause people to do stuff, that cause people to collaborate with one another, problem solving. It's not always at the behest of the almighty dollar. We're not always, like, I'll give you examples of massive scientific, like in the field of medical research, there are so many innovative products that have come out. These guys didn't do it because they wanted to make money. They did it because they wanted to save lives. Like the guy who invented insulin in Canada, he sold the patent for $1. Now you got to pay fucking $1,000 to purchase it because a company bought the patent and then denied people the access to this life-saving medication that this guy fucking found and was like, I want people to be able to have this. Like, this is crazy. People should be able to have this. This is like going to save people's lives. This is awesome. He didn't do that. He did that collaboratively with a whole bunch of other people. Not a single person involved in that was like, think about all the money we're going to be making. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's always the dudes in suits that make the money afterwards. And they make it seem as though everyone only cares about money. Now, this doesn't mean that people don't care about money at all. Of course, everybody cares about money. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, money isn't everything. When you don't have it, it is everything. Right. I've been there. I know. It's very important. It's free. Having said that, I think there is a very different mentality that a lot of people have, especially at the top of society. People who are corporate executive CEOs, where they care almost exclusively about like endless expansion, profits over everything. Whereas I don't think the average person operates like that. I think the average person is trained to think like that is something that they're invested in. But deep down inside, like, most people just want to be comfortable. They want to be able to have, stupid. Happy. They want to be happy. They want to be comfortable. They want to have a roof over their heads. They want a fucking nice meal, get some pussy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And have children, whatever the fuck they want to do. Play Marvel Rivals. Have some free time. Good. Have some fucking free time for yourself, right?
But it just seems like it's so vast and it's so structured and it's so built already. There's no escaping it.
Yeah. Mark Fisher once said, it's easier to imagine the end of the world than imagining the end of capitalism. And it's true. I mean, how many dystopian movies are out there, the world ending? How many fucking movies are out there where there's, we've moved beyond capitalism? Star Trek is like the only example I can think of. So it's true. It's like deeply ingrained in our understanding. We think it's like human nature that like everyone is endlessly selfish and endlessly greedy. Conservatives always talk about the family. there's no profit motive in the family. You know, the family unit has nothing to do with profits at all. It's about taking care of your own. It's about taking care of your friends. And I think that we can expand on that, taking care of your communities. And you know, plenty of people have that attitude as well as the self-interest. And I think there needs to be a better balance of that. And right now the balance is tilted on the selfish profit side of things.
But that's my question, is how do you even make a balance like that? Like, do you think it just takes more people speaking like this?
I think that plays a role in it for sure.
Just speaking about something like that's something like I'll see where, you know, I even saw some tweet you made about the elites, and you got a response from a bunch of like
conservatives. Yeah, they loved it, which is surprising because I was talking about like how they've destroyed public education.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the response, so Mike made a comment basically, it's like, we're just gonna go back to talking about whatever, blah, blah, blah. And like, that's how it feels. That's how all this stuff feels, where it's like, there's these like super pain points and these issues. And then people just go back to like, all right, well, where else can
we're easily distracted, especially with social media too. Like, where I think back in the day, like shit would just be important for like a month. And now it's like 12 hours and then you're done. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's another cog. I mean, social media is another cog in that.
Yeah.
Getting money.
No, for sure. I think money, attention, clout, admiration, there are definitely other motivators beyond money as well. Yeah. I mean, people can't stand on one issue and really hyper focus on it. But having said that,
like, would you do what you do if you made no money? If you were,
I mean, I did do what I was doing when I made no money.
Me too. Yeah. Not on social, because I was just, I mean, as far as being a gym bro and like training and talking about what I was doing, that's something I did.
Or even politics. Like, this is something that I was truly fascinated by, and something that I wanted to, like, my opinions I wanted to share with other people. So yeah, and this is something that I was definitely interested in. And I mean, for the longest time, it's not like I had this like massive audience or a shit ton of money. Like, I didn't, but I still did it. And I had virtually the same fucking opinions I do now. That's why you can go back. I always say, like, you can go back to any video from like 2016, 2017, and I'm literally talking about the same issues, and I'm saying the same things.
And you were always kind of a gym bro, because I remember, I think when I first had met you, I looked back on my DMs, because I was a gym bro making gym content, and you would message me about like workout shit.
Yeah.
It was so funny, because I went back, I looked at our
really?
I even remember you were like, I responded, it must have been years later, and you were like, fuck, I messaged you in 2016.
That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've always, thank you. Well, I lost a lot of weight, and then I gained it back in COVID. It was messed up. I was so depressed, dude. Like, last time we did this podcast, I was still pretty fat. Yeah. Like, last time when we had a lean beef patty at my house, like, I was so fat even then, but I was at least like I was like more regimented at that point. And like, finally I'm back to a very comfortable place now.
Yeah.
And dude, that stuff I can't speak enough on, honestly. It's just like, it really changes the way you see the world. Working out and being physically healthy. Yeah. And I think most importantly, setting goals for yourself and being able to accomplish them and seeing the fruits of your labor genuinely changes something in your brain chemistry, where I just feel like because I've done it once, I will be able to do it again. I'll be able to tackle whatever issue I want to, as long as I fucking put some time and investment into it and commit to it and develop consistency. Before
you figured that out, how did you get to that point when you didn't get that reaction? Because most people are like, right now, right? It's New Year. Everyone talks about New Year, new me. Everyone says. And everyone's kind of like, not everyone, because some people get out, like you got out as far as like your goal and you actually achieved it. But to the people who are kind of stuck in that circle, what's your perspective, or what would you tell that person? And essentially, what did you tell yourself to keep going when it wasn't what you wanted it to be?
Yeah. I mean, I was fat my whole life. So that was the one thing. Yeah, no, that was definitely a benefit for sure. I could hide it, but like, I was fat, I was still very insecure about it. And for me, I think I was like, when I first moved out here, I was surrounded by other like personal trainers. We were living in I was living basically for almost no cost at a frat house, because I didn't have anywhere to live, and I didn't make enough money to like be able to rent a apartment.
I've been there.
Yeah. So I was living in the kitchen of a frat house, and like everyone was a PT. Yeah. So then, and I had more free time, so I was like, we just worked out. It was a social thing.
I'm surprised you didn't go more Republican with your views. I feel like most gym bros like end up going there.
I know, it's interesting, because like, I don't know. I think being healthy is a thing on its own. It's not like a political. Of course, I'm not saying it. But I do see that, except for Jeff Neverett, my boy, shouts out.
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, that's my homie.
He just really,
that's my homie.
But what I'm saying is, even in a sense, I guess I would consider myself more right, but like, I'm not really. Like, I'm open. I like to listen, and I like to understand all sides of everything. I've always been that way. I've never been like sort of dogged with like, if someone says this and they said something else that I thought then it was true, then I just go, okay, then everything else they say is true. I've always been like, I don't know, let me ask more questions. Which is why, like, in general, even love having conversations with you, because I know we have such a different perspective on a lot of things.
Yeah.
I guess, why do you think people tend to, I don't know, just pick and stick in an echo chamber? And do you think
comfort?
Do you sometimes find yourself in that in your own?
I mean, for sure. it's comfort. It's a sense of community. It's a shared understanding of the world that is very comforting for a lot of people. People look for it in many different ways. And there's a concept of third spaces, places that you can go to where you can be around other members of the public, right?
Yeah.
Public parks, movie theaters, things of that nature, gyms.
Yeah.
Exactly. I feel like now, because we live so much online, we spend so much time out of the day being online, like we don't really have that sense of community over mutual interests as much. So then we just like seek out these communities online. And I do think that there's definitely something very unhealthy about it, where it does like harden your viewpoints, and you constantly hear people that you agree with, and that can lead you astray. And it shuts off your curiosity. It shuts off your charitability.
Especially now with the sort of like type of content that seems to be consumed, which is clips.
Yeah.
Because it's like people don't even get the full context of conversations now.
Ever.
And they just go, he said this, that's it.
Dude, I mean, I'll give you an example. I went to Skid Row yesterday. Homelessness increased by 18% this past year. We have
Worldwide or nationwide?
No. Nationwide.
Nationwide.
Yeah. So that means in the United States of America now, while we're having this conversation, there's more than 700,000 people that are sleeping outside. A lot of these guys are like addicted to fentanyl. There's a lot of drug problems. There's a lot of mental health problems. There's like crime. There's a lot of theft, assault, sexual assaults, and it's horrible. And it's a policy problem. It's a systemic failure. But the media also, I think, plays a role in dehumanizing homeless people. And especially when you see like the only interaction that you have with a homeless person is usually just like a person basically at the final stage of homelessness that looks like a zombie, that's like shitting outside of your house or jerking off outside of your house. You're like, oh my God, this is terrifying. Like, this is just like, this Bedlam. This is Gotham City. Where the fuck is Batman? And the media also plays into that a little bit, I think, by like actively also dehumanizing homeless people. What was it? Soft White Underbelly, I think, does a pretty decent job of like showcasing the background and perspective of homeless people. There's a big YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen those like the black and white interviews. Yeah. And, there's some people out there that do a decent job. But basically, I saw that, and I saw so much violence that was happening against homeless people as well, and like the lack of interest from people like in seeing their humanity and seeing their background and seeing like that they're literally people exactly like your aunts, your uncles, people that once had a normal existence, a normal life. Yeah, lots of veterans, exactly. And so I wanted to work with a local charity that already, like a local organization that already works on this.
I've been following since the woke bait TYT days after lockdowns and vaccines rolled out. I set to build a third spade in my community, and I did so this year by joining a local org and creating a weekly paint night. Has been very successful. An example of real world impact your work has. Hell yeah, Omega.
That's on Skid Row, and go there, buy a bunch of materials that they need, and also bring some clothes as well. Like old clothes of mine, because people send me merch all the fucking time. No, I did. The reason why I did.
HasanAbi